let's get going. So obtaining a small business loan. We're going to go over the 6 tips. First things first, the basics. It used to be, kind of simple to get a loan, but a lot of things have happened, right? We just survived a global pandemic. Interest rates are all over the place, up, down, crazy, out of control. So it's a lot harder now to get a loan, to get a small business loan. You really have to have your ducks in a row. So knowledge is the key to better odds of getting that loan. So I really, really suggest that you reach out to an expert to guide you through. There are people at the Small Business Administration, SBA, in their SCORE department. SCORE is, this wonderful resource that is available to all entrepreneurs. You can reach out. They will give you someone to guide you through, someone who's been through it, an executive, usually retired. They can tell you exactly what you need to do to qualify for these loans. So I really, really recommend you reach out to the Small Business Administration and have somebody lead you through this process, okay? So reach out to an expert to guide you. So there's all kinds of loans, right? There's different types of loans that you can apply for. Today, we're going to focus on what's available through the Small Business Administration, but I'm also going to tell you about the different loans. The different types of SBA loans that are available are the 7A small loans, right? The standard 7A loan, the 7A small loan. Those loans are the most common loans you're going to apply for. Most people in this room, that's what you're going to apply for. They also have the Small Business Express, the Export Express, the Export Working Capital. And I'm giving you these names and you guys can Google them, find out more about them. That's why I want you to write them down, okay? So you have the standard 7A loan, you have the 7A small business loan, then you have the SBA Express, the Export Express, Export Working Capital Loan, International Trade Loan, Veterans Advantage, cap lines, and preferred lender loan. Okay, and you guys can have access to the slides after this is over if you subscribe to me on Fanbase. All right. So those are the different types of SBA loans. All right. So I'm gonna give you what other financing options are out there besides crowdfunding, right? We did a whole CEO school on crowdfunding. We'll do another one of those. That is a whole class in and of itself. So we'll talk about crowdfunding another time. But the different types of loans that you can get besides SBA are traditional loans, which are funded from banks and financial institutions with varying amounts, right? So that's just a traditional loan. You go to your bank, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, whoever your bank is, and ask for a loan. Then you have business lines of credit. Those are funded by traditional lenders for a specific amount of money, right? So same thing, banks, financial institutions, you're asking for a line of credit, basically like a big credit card, right? So basically this is saying, I have this line of credit, I can tap into it when I need it for, however much I need up to my line of credit. And then invoice factoring, it's funded by your cash flow from selling invoices to a third party. This is very close to predatory. So I want you guys to really think about it. If you're doing factoring, it takes a lot of your money. So it's called factoring, F-A-C-T-O-R-I-N-G. So what factoring does for you is if you need your cash up front, so you invoice your you invoice your clients, and then there's a third party who buys that invoice from you, but so you get your money up front, and they do that every single month. So every single month, they basically are the ones collecting the money from your customers. That's a factoring loan. So you get your money up front, but you're only getting a percentage of it. And they take a big chunk of it. So if you invoice your client $30,000, the factoring company may get, $7,000 of that. That's a lot of money. So think about that. But if you get into a cash flow situation that, you're struggling, you might want to think about factoring. All right, specialty loans. Those are funded by loan programs that cater to certain people or causes, right? So those are very specific to industries, to demographics. They're very, very specific types of loans. So you can look for, so say you're in environmental services, you can look up loans that are very specific to environmental service companies or sustainability companies. You can look for loans that are very specific to you, or, you know, you're a Black woman, you can look for loans that are just for Black women, or, you know, you're in an opportunity zone in your community, right? I don't know if you guys know what opportunity zones are, but they're areas that are designated by the government, sometimes local, sometimes state, to say that we are going to develop in this area. So there's loans specific to that area, right? So these are specialty loans. So there's no one size fits all for anyone, right? So you have to decide what's best for you. I can tell you what my experience was. My experience was that I knew I wanted to start a business, and I also knew that as a Black woman, it was going to be a little bit more difficult, right? Just traditionally and statistically, it's more difficult for Black people, but Black women specifically, to get funding. So I knew that I was probably not going to have great odds with that. So I worked for a good year at a very high paying job, and I saved half of my salary. I actually left the job that I was at and went to a job where I was going to double my salary so that I would be able to save half my salary. And I used that to fund my business. I took no outside money to start my business in the beginning. I have since taken loans, and we could talk about that. But in the beginning, I did not fund it with any outside money. Just know that if you take a loan out, you have to pay it back. I don't think people, and it sounds funny, but I really don't think that a lot of people think that far. They think, I need a loan to start my business, and then that loan comes due. Every loan has terms, and you have to make sure that you have the ability to pay it back and that your business is set up in a way. We just finished our business planning series, how to write a business plan. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know and we can hook you up. But you need to have a business plan. You need to know how you're going to make money and how you're going to be able to pay that loan back, because the bank wants to know that, right? The SBA wants to know that. If you're going to apply for any money, even from investors, they want to know, how are we going to get our money back? So that's my answer, right? It's not one size fits all. You can crowdfund, you can take a loan out, you can ask friends and family for gifts, you can self-fund. There's lots of ways to do it. But if you're going to take a loan out, just know that somebody's going to be looking to get paid back. So the 7A loan, A as an apple, that's what I was telling you guys. That's the most common loan. Most of you are going to apply for that kind of loan. Some of the other loans that are available are 504 loans. Those are available through CDCs. Those are certified development companies. You can look those up. You can look up CDC partners. They're partners of the SBA, but those are 504 loans. They cannot be used for working capital or inventory, right? You can't use them to consolidate or repay back a loan or refinance your debt. You can't use them to invest in real estate or speculation on real estate. What you can use 504 loans for is for an existing building, for land, for new facilities, for machinery, for equipment. They have 10 to 20 year repayment terms. And they go up to 5 million, right? But those are available through CDCs. Microloans, those are available up to $50,000, and they can be used for startup and expansion. They can be used for rebuilding. They cannot be used to pay existing debt either. And those are available through what they call intermediaries. So you can look those up too. And you can go to SBA.gov partners, SBA.gov/partners/lenders/micro loan program to get information on that. But the 7A loan is the most common. You can get up to $5 million max. It can be used for short-term capital, to refinance your business debt, to purchase furniture, fixtures, supplies, things like that. Just so you guys know, the SBA does not give grants. They don't give grants. They make the loans that you do apply for less risky, guaranteeing those loans. So those loans are given to you through the bank. So you will go to your bank, You can go to the SBA and they can walk you through it, but you can go to your bank and tell them you want to apply for an SBA loan and they can help you with that process. But the SBA is the agency that makes sure that those loans are guaranteed. So this is just my belief. I believe that you quit your job when you can quit your job. Don't quit your job before you can, but the moment that you're able to, you need to make your business your full-time job. And I'm gonna tell you what, I was a terrible employee. I was great at my job, but I was a terrible employee because my focus was elsewhere. So I didn't want anybody telling me when to come in. I didn't want anybody telling me what to do with my time. I wanted to do my job and I wanted to leave. I wanted to do my job and I wanted to do it when I wanted to do it and where I wanted to do it and how I wanted to do it, as long as I produced results. So as an employee, that's not good. And you learn quickly once you start your business that you don't hire entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurs are terrible employees. You can hire entrepreneurs. Those are people that don't ever want to start their own company, but they think like an entrepreneur. But never, never, and I learned the hard way, don't hire entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs we're just mavericks. We just want to do our own thing. So it's just, something that I learned. So yeah, I was good at my job, but I was not, I was very difficult to manage. You ever heard that term in management? That's a difficult employee to manage. I was very difficult to manage. I blew off meetings because I didn't think they were necessary. I mean, all that. I was terrible. So interns are not what interns used to be. You cannot hire free labor. It is not allowed. It is not legal. You have to pay interns. So if you think that you are, and a lot of us don't know that, right? We just didn't know when we started our businesses, because back in the day when we were growing up, you worked as a, unpaid intern or, a very low paid intern. You have to pay interns at least minimum wage, or they have to get a stipend, and that stipend has to be reasonable. So don't think that you can just hire interns. What I suggest you do, if you need specialized services, and that's the other thing, an intern is not meant to be a specialized employee. They're not supposed to have the skills. They're really there to learn the skills and to get experience. If you need a specialized type of person, I highly recommend that you hire consultants, hire virtual assistants that have very specific skills, that you outsource. And that's a lot cheaper than hiring a full-time employee, right? You don't have the payroll taxes and workers' comp and all of that. And you can only, you can hire them for the hours that you need them for, or for a specific project. I highly, highly recommend that you do that as opposed to interns. If you're going to hire interns, look for people that are in school to in the field that your business is in, and there's someone that you're thinking you'll probably bring on after they graduate, or you're going to make them a full-time employee. And we are in a gig economy. We're in an economy where people are looking to work the hours they want to work for the money they want to work for, and they have options. And people are not going to just work for you just because you think they need a job. That's what the Great Resignation is about. You need to pay people well, and you need to expect that they're going to want some flexibility in their work day and their work schedule and their duties. It's a different economy now. It's not, it's not 1995. It's not even 2005. We're in a completely different world right now. People can leave and go do DoorDash and work when they want to. They can Uber, they can do all these different gigs and make enough money to pay their basic bills. So you can't pay them like, the same amount that they would make if they were just gigging out there. Don't get yourself in trouble by listening to internet gurus that have never actually run a company and just sit behind a computer talking to people. Talk to a CPA, your certified public accountant, or an accountant, at the very least. Talk to an accountant. You just want to make sure that you're not getting yourself into trouble. And I always reiterate that in CEO school, because so many people do things that they think they can get away with because they heard somebody say you can do that. And they end up getting in trouble. So always talk to your CPA. I just had a conversation yesterday. I've been in business now for 6 years. I've been in business for over 20 years, but I've had this business for 6 years now. And I still talk to my CPA all the time when I want to make a move. I just had a whole meeting with her yesterday about something I want to do. And I was like, what are the legal implications, of this? If I do this, am I going to have tax, penalties? Are there going to be, issues that I run into down the line from doing this? So you need to make sure you're talking to professionals and not to, random people on the internet. Because we are in this internet culture, so people have a tendency to do that, right? They just Google something and then they're like, oh, I read on the internet on Google. Natasha says all the time, Google does not have the same law degree that she has. So that's kind of boss. So be very, very, very careful. So let's talk about how to be eligible for a 7A loan. All right, you have to be operating for profit. You can't be a nonprofit. You have to be operating for profit. You have to be considered a small business as defined by the SBA. So read about it, right? Go through. I'm not going to go into it right now, so because you guys can Google that. Google what's considered a small business defined by the Small Business Administration. Okay, make sure that that's you. You need to be engaged in or propose to do business in the United States or in one of the territories. Okay, be engaged in or be proposed to do business in the United States or one of its territories. You need to have reasonable invested equity. So in order to qualify, they're going to ask you, how much money did you put in the business? What was your contribution to the business? You can't just go there and say, I didn't put anything in the business, I'm just starting. I don't, you actually have to have invested in your business in order to be eligible to get a loan. And it doesn't have to be a certain amount of money, but you do have to show that you have invested in the business. And then you have to have used alternative financial resources, including personal assets, before you seek financial assistance. So you need to make sure that you, if you have a job, that you list that you show them that you have a job. So use alternative financial resources before you go to the SBA asking for money. All right, so this slide is very important. Don't quit your job. It will be much easier to get funding if you have a backup source of income. So remember I was saying, don't quit your job until you're ready to quit your job. Hold on to your income, and then you can quit once you are profitable and you're able to leave your job. Don't leave your job. And a lot of people do this. I'm just stepping out on faith. No, you're stepping out on tired. You're tired of your job. So you want to quit. Don't quit your job until you already have actual income coming in that can replace it. Okay? If your business is your only source of income, it's going to be very difficult for you to get a loan in the beginning. Now, if you've been in business for a while, that's a little bit different, right? Because your business has shown itself to be profitable. You can show that you can pay it back. But when you're first starting out, you need to make sure you have another source of income before you apply for a loan. All right, you're going to list your collateral. If you don't have many assets, you're going to have to really list, what it is that you bring to the table. Okay, so there may be other things in the process that can cover for that, but if you have collateral like a house that you can put up, that's very helpful. You'll have somebody, probably more willing to help you get a loan if you have some kind of collateral. So list out your collateral. Sit down with pen and paper and list out what you actually bring to the table. Get your documents all organized. You want to keep very thorough records. So in today's economy, One-page applications are very uncommon. There was a time when you just did a one-page application. Now there's going to be a lot of information needed. If anybody did a PPP loan or an EIDL loan, you're familiar with this. It was crazy. There was so much information that was required to apply. And you had to have all of your T's crossed and your I's dotted. So make sure you organize your documents, okay? You gotta have all your documents prepared in a hard copy too, not just on your computer. So your income taxes, your pay stubs from your present job, any proof of your assets, and anything else you can think of that's gonna help them make a decision. And then you wanna write a business plan. Like I said, we just finished the series on writing a business plan. So those are up, and I literally walk you through how to write your business plan. You can just take it piece by piece, one slide at a time, and just write your business plan out, okay? So keep in mind that lenders, they review business plans every single day. So if your business plan is unrealistic, if your estimates and your numbers are unrealistic, they'll know it, and your credibility is going to suffer. They are going to call you out and say, this doesn't make any sense, and you will not get that loan. So make sure you're doing your due diligence. This is really important. Presentation matters. And before I say this, I'm gonna say this. If you're gonna be in the game, you gotta be ready to play. If you don't wanna play, get out of the game. We all know that it's harder for Black folks to get a loan, all right? So you gotta play the game. If you don't wanna play the game, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with not wanting to play the game, but stop trying to play it. And don't get mad about it not working for you, okay? Don't go in there deciding that you're gonna do it your way and then get mad because it doesn't work, okay? So you need to be ready for your financial evaluation. And then there is a subjective evaluation. That's the part we get mad about, right? That's the part that's unfair. It's subjective. They want to minimize their risk. They're looking at you to determine whether or not you look like someone that will pay the loan back. So don't go in there sagging. Don't go in there looking all crazy, dirty, like I'm just, I'm me. They're gonna accept me for what I am. No, they're not. If this is the kind of funding you're getting, then you need to clean yourself up and get yourself together and present yourself well, because they are making that subjective evaluation as well. So a lot of people get mad about that. I'm me. Okay, you could be you. You could be you with no money. That's fine. The next part, because I want to get through this, you guys, is mind your credit. You need to know everything that's on your credit report, everything. So before you even start your loan application, get any errors that could be detrimental removed. Get them addressed. Also, you want to make an effort to correct anything that is inaccurate, right? You have an inaccurate address, you have something showing on there that's not you. There was something on my credit report, like an FCC filing, and it had nothing to do with me. And I had to, really, it took me a long time. I had to go to battle to get that removed. So make sure there's nothing on your credit report that can deter your loan. Really focus on getting your personal credit together. A lot of people think, oh, business credit. And I hear people, even on this app, talking about, oh, how to build your business credit. That's great. But when you're a new business, they don't give a damn about your business credit. They care about your personal guarantee. So how is your personal credit? Until you've been in business for 5 years, they don't care about your business credit. They care about, I don't want to say they don't care, but it's less important. They care about your personal credit score. So work on your credit, you guys. Make sure you get your credit together, okay? Make sure you're focused on that. And it's not as hard as people make it. Like, it really isn't. You just have to commit to it. Whatever you focus on grows, right? If you focus on problems, those grow. If you focus on solutions, those grow, right? So whatever you focus on, it's going to get bigger. So if you focus on positive steps towards credit restoration, you are going to see your credit improve quickly because you're focused on it. So make sure you get your credit together. It doesn't take as long as people think. You can, in a year, you can significantly improve your credit. All right. There's all kind of credit experts out there, and I'm not one of them. I'm not trying to be, but I will tell you that I do know your credit is very, very important. I was getting really mad the first, the beginning of my business, when I would go to apply for things and people would tell me I had to do a personal guarantee, and I'd be like, but I have this business and we're doing millions, and that they don't care. They don't care. They're like, okay, but you still need to sign this and put your social security number on here. So say what you want. All right, so finally, as with many things, the devil's in the details. So following all these tips will not guarantee that your application will be approved, but it will greatly increase your odds of success. So take the time to put the odds in your favor. Getting a small business loan might not be easy, but it can be done, and it is worth it if you need it for cash flow or for expansion. So that concludes my class on obtaining a small business administration loan. Well, thank you guys so much for coming to CEO School. We are here every Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 o'clock noon Eastern, and you guys can follow me at Lainika Johnson. You can subscribe to a year through the link in my bio, and all of the replays are up on YouTube, and those are access only to subscribers. If there's nothing else, you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys next week.